Good evening, everyone. It's 5:30 on 26th of May, Wednesday, and I'm going to call to order the hearings this evening for code enforcement matters before Special Magistrate. It's me. And the next thing we do is we call roll. And what that means is we're going to identify those folks that are here this evening that are with the city, and I'll identify myself as well, so that all of you all will know who everyone is that's representing the city in these cases. So I'll go ahead and start. My name is William Reichman. I am an attorney. I've been practicing law for coming up on 40 years now, and I specialize in governmental work and have done a lot of work with code enforcement. I was appointed by the City Commission to act in the capacity as a special magistrate, not to represent the city of Deltona, not to represent the individuals whose cases I'm hearing, but to try to render a fair and impartial decision based upon the evidence that I hear. So with that, I'm going to let everyone else introduce themselves.
Angela Meyer, hearing clerk.
Mark Gibson, Enforcement Services Supervisor.
Richard Lovett, Enforcement Services Supervisor.
Scott Danley, Enforcement.
Steve Brockhoff, Enforcement Services Officer.
Jose Garcia, Code Enforcement Officer.
Myron San Miguel, Enforcement Services Officer.
Carl Lynch, Building Official.
Danny Ron, Enforcement Services and Building Customer Service Supervisor.
Roll call.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I'm Marcia Siegel-George, City Attorney.
Phyllis Wallace, Deputy Public Works Director, City of Deltona.
Okay. All right. Now I'm going to ask everyone, we're going to pledge allegiance to the flag. If you'd please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everybody. These hearings are organized and established pursuant to Florida law, specifically one of the chapters in the Florida statutes, Chapter 162, and those procedures have been codified in Chapter 2 of the City of Deltona Code of Ordinances. These hearings that we're going to be conducting this evening are in the nature of what's called quasi-judicial. It means that I'm not making the rules. I'm simply listening to the evidence that I hear, that I'll hear tonight from the city and from all of you, and then based upon, I'll apply those facts, the facts that are relevant, and which facts are relevant are dependent upon the code that applies to your situation. When we say quasi-judicial, it means that we have to use due process. Everyone has received, under the Florida law, Chapter 162 in the City Code, notice of tonight's hearing. You'll have the right to testify and call people if you want them to testify and basically tell me what you want me to hear about your case. So I'll be listening to you, I'll be listening to the city. It's not in the nature of a full-blown trial before a judge, though. So the only thing that I would tell you is that I really can't consider hearsay. Hearsay is when you're telling me what someone else said and they're not here tonight. So I can't consider that unless it's cumulative. But we make sure that we preserve fundamental due process, and I'll make sure of that. I have here and always take what's called judicial notice, means I'm aware of the city ordinances, state statutes, the Florida Building Code, and the International Property Maintenance Codes. Those are the rules. Those are things that we're here tonight to make sure everybody lives up to, for yourself, for your neighbors, and for the city. So those are the rules, and then I'll listen to the facts that would be applicable or not to those rules. If you want to submit documents for my consideration, you're going to need to give them to the clerk. So someone will come and get those from you, and then I'll look at them, obviously, and they become part of the file, so you won't get them back. I just share that with you so you're not surprised if you hand them to me, and I look at them, and then they become part of the official file. They have to. Pursuant to the public records law, it's another Florida law, those documents that you provide and that I'll consider become public records and therefore can be subject to public review. Should you need copies of those records, please make sure you get with the hearing officer or one of the officers before you leave this evening, and they can make sure that you get copies. So, next, I want everyone to know, I always disclose this every time we have these hearings, that as part of what my role is and what my role is not, I have not talked to anybody at the city about any of your cases. I haven't talked to any code enforcement officers. All I've received is the agenda. That's it. I have not done any independent investigation, and I haven't spoken to any of the citizens that are here this evening. So what that means is that I'm basing my decisions tonight on what I hear tonight, what I see tonight. That's it. I didn't come in here with any idea of any facts or anyone's innocence or anything like that. I have already reviewed the minutes from the meeting of April 28, 2021 of those hearings and have approved those and executed those minutes. We are going to call the cases based upon the old theory of first come, first serve. And at this point in time, I'm going to need anything else as far as announcements?
No.
Okay.
The ones that we draw.
Oh, I didn't have any on my sheet. Which ones? Oh, I didn't get that. Okay. Okay. Okay, we have a couple cases that have been either continued or withdrawn. So the first, so if you're here on those and I call these out, you don't need to be here. You can go home and go outside and water your lawn and sweat. So I just want to make sure everyone knows that. The first Massey case, it's 1870 Providence Boulevard, property owner Gabriel and Yocosta Fernandez. That one is continued. The next case that was withdrawn was another Massey case, property address 1074 Fort Smith Boulevard, property owner Archie Leroy Tabor. That one was withdrawn. The next case was the property at 1761 West Acadian Drive, property owner, oh boy, I'm going to mess this up, Schreckenhost DA, trustee. So that one was continued. And then the last one that we're not going to do tonight was the property at 2796 Flynn Street, property owner TH 2017, borrower LLC. So if you're here on any of those cases, then you can head out. Otherwise, let's get to business here. First case we're going to have tonight is the, let's see, this is case number DEL 21067, property address 2502. It's the last case on our agenda for those that have a copy of their agenda in front of me. It's an animal public nuisance matter. Property address 2502, Shiprock Court. And before we get to that, I need to get everybody who may testify tonight, including staff. If you would please stand, raise your right hand, and I'm going to swear everybody in. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you provide tonight will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I do. All right, thank you. So, these cases follow the same general procedure. The city's going to go first. So you'll have one of these officers that will tell me why they believe that there's a code violation. And I may have some questions, and then I certainly want to hear from those of you this evening. So when the city gets done, then right where that wood podium is, right there, sir, I know you're sitting at that table, but everyone else, if you could just come to that podium. And when you come up, when it's your turn in your case after the city's gone, if you could give me your name and your address so that we know who you are and it's clear on the record. Okay, so let's get going with our first case. It is DEL 21067, property address 2502 Shiprock Court. Property owners James and Sherry Rada. Is the city ready to proceed?
Yes, sir.
Okay, please.
Good evening. My name is Scott Danley, employed by the City of Deltona Code Enforcement, Animal Control. My credentials are on file with the city. The case today is City versus James and Sharon Rada. Property address is 2502 Shiprock Court, Deltona, Florida, 32738. Parcel number is 813-041-200140. The violation is City of Deltona Ordinance Section 14-2, Subtitle 1, which states it is unlawful for any person to permit animals to become a public nuisance. An animal shall be declared a public nuisance animal if such animal is repeatedly found at large. And the corrective action is animals must be restrained on the property to prevent such animals from roaming at large. We did have a meeting last week with the Radas, and we've come to an agreement for a 45-day time period to correct the action.
So, okay, so I believe Mr. Rada, you're here? Oh, I'm sorry, I thought this gentleman right here was on this case. Oh, I apologize, sorry about that.
Mr. Reichman, he was one of the complainants about the property. That's why he's up here.
Yes, sir.
Got it. Okay, so you are here on that case, you're just not the property owner. You're not the dog owner.
The cat owner.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir, it's cats.
Okay. Okay, all right. I'm sorry, got a little confusing.
Not a
All right.
problem.
So what I'm hearing is that the city says that they've reached an agreement
Yes, sir.
with the property owner. In this case, it's an animal, so it's a dog?
Cats.
Cat?
Yes, sir.
Cat. Now, this gentleman's here, so before I accept what the city has agreed to with you, I would like to at least, you've come all the way here, so I want to hear what you have to say. Would you repeat what it is that that the property owner and the city have
Yes, sir.
agreed to?
We've given them 45 days to correct the action of the cats coming off their property.
So if he wants to talk about them, these are pictures as well.
45 days to comply.
Yes, sir.
Now, let's talk about it. Compliance means that after, I mean, this is where what I'm hearing is everyone agrees that the cat's been roaming off the property.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me just ask this. Why do you need 45 days to prevent your cat from roaming off your property?
We don't necessarily. We were just trying to give lenience.
I think it'd be best.
Okay, well, let me hear from the property owner. I'm not trying to second guess you, but I'm just struggling a little bit, I mean, about this 45 days, because I need to get a context for it. Sir, if you could come forward and come to this place right here and
Yes, sir. Is this mic on? Is this
No,
on?
we're going to hear from Mr. Rada first, and then we'll hear from you, Mr. Cole.
Oh, go ahead.
if you could give me your name and your address, sir.
James Rada, 2502 Shiprock Court, Deltona.
Okay, what are we talking about here? Is it one cat, 10 cats, 20 cats?
Actually, they are TNR program through the city cats. They're not personally owned animals.
So this is at his residence?
Yes, sir. They were part of the TNR program. They were caring for TNR cats, from my understanding. I believe TNR's been asked to take them off the list as caring for the cats.
Right. And the 45-day thing is because we're actually about to sell the house.
Okay.
And we're going to be gone. So the pictures aren't up anymore, but if you zoom into every one of those animals, they have a tipped ear, and they've either been spayed or neutered.
Right, that's
And
what they do.
you know, this is going back a few years at this point. Heidi Herzberg and Brooke are the ones that actually approached us because we were trying to find out what to do about stray animals in the neighborhood. Probably the first week that I purchased the home, I called the city and had traps put out, and they caught probably 6 or 7 animals. Apparently there's a few people in that specific subdivision that just put food out and let them go about their merry way. But we wanted to help figure out a way to get them spayed or neutered. I go back to the old school Bob Barker thing, you know, get your animals spayed or neutered. So Heidi showed up at our house, told us, you know, she has a program that she actually instituted probably a year or 2 previous. So we're like, sure, we'll join and help do that.
So
I've
let me
taken
understand
probably
it. So
15
you're
animals.
part of this program. Does that mean that someone brings you these cats?
Right. These are cats that are just roaming free in the neighborhood. We did have a lot, well, not as many now, but there was a lot of parcels that were just overgrown woods. They hadn't been cleared or built on yet. And we have a lake that basically surrounds our entire neighborhood. So it's, from what we've learned, that's perfect breeding ground for stray cats.
And that's fine, but, you know, the code says that if you have an animal, and it's your animal, and you're responsible for it, and it's roaming off your property, then that's code violation. So I need this question for the city, or for the property owner. Are these his cats?
I have the ordinance that we printed out.
I'm not looking about the ordinance. I've got the ordinance. I want to know who owns the cats.
Nobody.
City?
And this is from y'all's website with the TNR program, specifically right off the city's website.
Told by Mr. Rada, they own 3 personal cats inside. The outside cats,
Well, okay, hang on. There's 3 cats that Mr. Rada owns,
yes, sir.
correct?
Correct.
Are those ever outside off your property?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so the cats we're talking about are not his personal cats?
From my understanding, yes.
Okay, so these are just cats that, I mean, what's your relation to these cats that are roaming around? Why are you here?
Exactly. We were under the understanding, the TNR rules, this is from the city website, community cat caregiver means a person in accordance with the trap neuter program provides care to a community cat. A community cat caregiver shall not be considered the owner or harborer of a community cat. The provision of care to a community cat by a community cat caregiver shall not be considered a use of real property that is regulated by the city's land development regulations. That's exactly the rule that we...
I get it. So what do you do with these cats? Because you are part of the program, correct?
Not anymore, but we were for a few years, yeah.
You're not...
We catch them, basically have an area where the cats would come to eat, get them used to, most of them were obviously somebody's house cats, and from what we understood from the meeting, Deltona's kind of become a drop zone because of this TNR program, which...
You were a member of this program?
Well, I mean, we participated, I guess you would say.
Okay, all
I would
right.
help catch the cats that I could actually physically catch, put them in a carrier, bring them here to City Hall. They would take them to Redinger Clinic, spay, neuter them, clip their ear, bring them back here. I would bring them back to the garage. They would recover and be gone.
Let me
The
stop you right
handful of
there.
cats in pictures, that's nothing. It used to be a lot worse.
But I just try to understand the process. You'd bring them back to your garage, they'd get better, but you wouldn't take them inside your house.
No.
So they would then be free to do whatever it is that free cats do around the neighborhood.
To our understanding of the program, that's what we did.
Okay.
So
all
I
right.
thought we were following the rules, but
Go ahead, sir.
Yes, sir. It was believed at one point that they had cat food inside their garage, and they would have the garage door open. I spoke to Mr. Rada about a month and a half ago about it, and he said he would stop putting food down. And he said the reason his garage door is open because he smokes outside in his garage. So we can't confirm or deny that there's still food. I can't say for sure, but he says that he's picked the food up.
I can ask him. So are you still working with these cats?
we changed the area of where I put food. First thing in the morning, I usually get up around 5. I did have a misunderstanding of where we were supposed to put food. I would put it in my garage, now backyard.
Okay, so you're still feeding these cats?
Yeah.
Okay, I had a cat that was just like that. And once you feed a cat, it's yours. I had that cat for 9 years after we fed it one time. So, I mean, I understand how this works. So, is there any reason why you just can't stop feeding the cats at, like, tomorrow?
No, not at all. I mean, we're not going to be there as soon as I can get my house sold. I mean,
No, I understand that, but that might not be tomorrow. That
we're not the only
might be 2 or
people.
3 months,
Right.
and if you're still feeding the cats, that means the cats are coming to your yard. And what I think I'm about to hear is the fact that the cats are coming to your yard, they're causing issues for some of your neighbors. I'm pretty sure I'm going to hear that. So if we can try to stop the cats from coming to your yard, then we may be able to deal with some of these problems that are being created.
that's totally fine.
Okay. Don't go anywhere. If you could sit down, I do want to hear from the gentleman that came all the way here. So.
Okay.
So thank you for talking to me. I appreciate
Thank
it. All right, sir, what's your name?
Sir, my name's Clement Kohler. I live at 2501 Shiprock Court, right across the street from this gentleman and his wife. I turned in some information, this problem that we've been having, this problem's been going on for years now. They have their garage door open still. The cats still enter that garage and exit that garage. They go into the house through the roof. There's missing I gave this young lady some pictures. I also have pictures on a flash drive here if you'd like.
No, I have all of this up here, so I'm good.
If I may, sir, in the last, just from March the 3rd of 2021 through May the 25th, about 6 weeks, security alarm system videos, the security alarm was set off 451 times. These animals the ratas are harboring, feeding, and these cats are picked up and taken into the house, the ones that are roaming the area there. They have been feeding them. I tried to talk to, and this information is in the documentation I gave you as well.
Right.
Of 9, it was on September the 8th of 2019, and there's a transcript of the text between myself and the ratas. It was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back here, of an incident that happened on the morning of the 8th of September of 2019. That cats have gotten into my roof, gotten into my attic via the roof. There's pictures of these cats on the rata's roof. The cats have been on my roof. They've been in my attic. I put receipts. I gave you receipts also. $613. I had to have the Terminex come out and remove the feces in my attic and sanitize my attic. I'm a liver transplant recipient. I'm immunosuppressed, so there's a disease called toxoplasmosis. Again, if you look at some of those pictures that I put up there, those cats were doing their business at my kitchen back door, in my barbecue area. I mean, like I said, this has been going on for years.
What's it like right now, like in the last couple days? I mean, are there more cats, same cats,
Well,
fewer number of cats?
Another individual came with me here who's having the same problem, but there's more cats. There's more cats. We trapped, in the last 5 days, we trapped 3 more cats. No one has been over in the Ratas group, or the TNR group. We kind of got the brush off from the TNR group.
So you trap them, and then what do you do with them?
Well, these officers, these animal control officers, are to come and pick them up. And initially, we were told that these animals were to be considered nuisance animals because they were destroying property, vegetation. My hedges are shut. I had to pay a guy $75 to cut away the dead part of my hedge.
All right. I'm getting the general idea.
But what's happening, sir, is they pick them up. They're supposed to take them up to, it was our understanding in the beginning that they were to take them up to Halifax Humane Society. The cats were supposed to be considered nuisance animals and be euthanized. We have, these cats have grown exponentially over the years. They're birthing cats. We see, about every 3 months, we see a new batch of kittens out in the driveway over there. And I have documentation like I gave you, and there's documentation here as well. And if I may just run one.
Well, no, you've proven to me, I don't think there's any dispute that there's a whole bunch of cats around your property, and they're affecting your value of your property and potentially your health, sir. So, I mean, once you've proven your case, the best advice I can tell you is stop, because it can't get any better. But I'm trying to find a solution.
Yes, sir.
All right, that's why we're here tonight. We're trying to find a solution. So I have a question for the city. Who runs this TNR program? Is this a city program or is this a private program?
I can answer that question, sir.
I just need an answer.
If I
Both? Both, from my understanding?
Is there anyone here tonight that it runs this
That
program?
represents TNR? I do not think so.
TNR program is ran by volunteers for the city.
So it's a city program. The city just uses volunteers.
The city, it's ran by volunteers. It is adopted by the city.
Okay. Okay. Well, here's what we've got. We've got,
Sir, if I may interject one point, Heidi Herzberg, it runs the TNR program. Her underling is a lady by the name of Brooke Light, who is one of the head volunteers. They've decided to relinquish the responsibility of these animals over to a bunch of part-time, unsupervised, unvetted part-time volunteers, okay? That's what we find out. That's why this problem's getting out of control.
okay, I get it. Honestly, I get it.
Mr. Reichman,
Yeah.
we do have Brooke Light here from the TNR program if you want to talk to her.
I would love to talk to her.
Okay. Brooke, you want to come on up to the podium, please?
I apologize, I didn't see her.
That's all right. Could you give me your name? Were you sworn in, ma'am?
Yeah, I raised my hand for that, sir.
Fantastic.
Yes. My name is Brooke Light, 1031 Matterhorn.
Are you an employee of the city or are you a volunteer?
A volunteer, sir.
Do you know whether James and Sherry Rada are part of your program?
I have, they have participated.
Okay, but
with
are they
us.
currently participants?
We have not fixed a cat with them in a while, since the city has kind of stepped into this particular position with this particular instance.
Are you familiar with this property?
Yes, sir.
Are you familiar with this problem at this property?
Yes, sir.
What, in your opinion, is there a solution to this problem?
The solution I approached with Mr. Kohler from the beginning was to talk about ways to deter the animals from the property. That's normally what we try to work on, is ways to not attract animals and to, again, even deter them from properties that they're not wanted to be on, and to also kind of attract them to properties that are not problematic for others.
Well, I've got testimony tonight that these cats are still being attracted, not just to the Rada's property, but to properties that are surrounding the Rada's property. And that is a violation of city code from the standpoint that these animals, while they may not be licensed in the name of the Radas, they certainly are being attracted to the home by the Radas by the feeding them of them.
Well, in every particular instance, what I normally try to do is, again, like I went just this past week to another individual's home that's had some issues with cats in their neighborhood, and we don't even know specifically who's feeding them. So I can't even use it to my advantage to sterilize them, but I brought products to that person's home to try to find ways to dissuade the animals from coming there, for instance.
Okay.
TNR's standpoint is not that we want everybody to just accept having cats in their yard. By no means. Please let the record show. I'm not trying to do that to anybody. We're trying to find a way to... Removing the cats doesn't work, sir, because especially if you've got a body of water, when those animals are removed and then somebody else moves and leaves their cat or dumps their cat or what have you, they are going to be attracted to the same places. When you sterilize the cats, of course, there's not making replacement cats. And also, they will, if you ever had a cat, like you said, your 9 years you had the cat, you know a fixed cat doesn't want some random cat to hang out. They'll usually shoo them off. And that usually works out pretty well. But this whole shiprock situation has become kind of a flashpoint in the program. And we tried, like 2 years ago, I had a conversation with Mr. Kohler, and it didn't turn out so well, and things have proceeded in an unpleasant manner, which is why now we're at the point where animal control is going out and trapping on their property and removing the animals. So, I mean, we would have very much wanted this to not have occurred as it has.
Okay, well, and I appreciate that. You know, the TNR program, I'm familiar with it. Some of my clients operate the cities that I represent have TNR programs, and
Right, it's a
in
Volusia
some ways
County
it's very
thing, it's not just
successful.
us,
But for
right.
this gentleman, it's not successful because it's affecting his life,
Well, and also the thing
or
is,
maybe his health.
and the thing is, from my last conversation with Loretta, is what I understand, there's only a few cats they're still feeding. Now, it doesn't mean there's only a few cats in the area. You know what I'm saying? Like they come, they go, they do their things. There are other people on like is it Greenview nearby, and other, I'm sure people we don't know and aren't aware of who feed. And of course, this is breeding season, so the cats are more active. So those who aren't sterilized are a lot more active going.
Okay, I appreciate you coming forward. You've answered my questions.
I hope so.
I appreciate it.
If you have anything else, I mean,
Okay, no, I appreciate it.
we'd love to help him. We'd love to
Okay.
fix some cats.
All right, so
Thank you,
question for the city. We know that these cats out there are, to some degree, you know, being encouraged by the Radas to come to their property and thereby to come to the properties of owners of the homes that surround their property. I'm not sure why 45 days is necessary for them to stop feeding the cats. Can you help me understand why we need to give the Radas 45 days to stop feeding cats?
No, sir, I don't think it was 45 days to not feed the cats. It was to figure out a way to either keep the cats confined in their home or to relocate them to a different area so they weren't causing a nuisance.
Well, is that their responsibility, or is that the responsibility of the people that run the TNR?
That's very possible, and that can be talked to with TNR.
All right, so I live in this next door to this gentleman, and I'm tired of having cats all over my property, and I call the city. What is the city going to do?
Right now, we have 2 traps set, one at his house and one at the house across the street next door to the Radas. We've trapped probably in the past year 20, 25 cats perhaps.
What do you do with them after you trap them?
They get taken to Halifax, and as soon as it's seen that they came from Shiprock, and especially if they have a tipped ear, I don't know who gets them, but they just end up right back at Shiprock.
Okay. Well, that's not solving the problem.
I understand.
And who's making that decision to send them right back where they came from?
I believe that's the agreement with TNR, that if they're picked up in a specific area and it's a clipped ear cat.
Agreement with the TNR program, which is the city's program.
Yes, sir.
And that city's program has agreement with whom?
TNR?
Well, the Halifax is what
Halifax.
Yeah, so the city's in control, correct me if I'm wrong, with where these cats get dumped off.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I never said I had a good answer for it. That's just what the answer is.
Well, here's my dilemma. We're about to try to tell a guy that if he's got to get rid of these cats or do something to get rid of these cats. They're not really his cats. They're run through a program that's the city's program, and the city has a contract with TNR in Halifax, and I would imagine that the city has control over that contract. Is there someone here on behalf of the city that can help me try to figure out what to do with this problem?
Mr. Reichman, we do not have any control over Halifax Humane Society. They're a separate entity altogether. So they have a contract to take animals from us, but what disposition they do with it, that's up to them because we relinquish control.
We have control over the TNR program, correct?
Correct.
So we could tell the TNR program not to have the cats go back to this neighborhood, correct?
Correct. If we knew about it, yes.
All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to continue this case to the next hearing. When we come back, I'd like to have a little more information about why this problem hasn't been resolved, given the history, the extensive history of problems with the TNR program in this neighborhood for a long period of time with a program that the city operates.
Yes, sir.
Okay? And I'm not mad at you guys, but I think that this gentleman's frustration is well-founded. And I'm trying to figure out who can do something about it. And I'm not sure. Now, these folks, the Radas, I'm continuing this case, but at some point in time, if this comes back and I hear you're still feeding those cats, I'm not, you know, that's not solving the problem. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I'm going to continue it for 30 days, and I think that's an opportunity for the people that are responsible for this to get together and take actions. And I don't know if that's the city with the TNR program, whether it's communications with Halifax, or it's an understanding with the Radas that they're going to move. But if it comes back in 30 days and this gentleman's sitting in this chair and he's saying nothing's happened, you know, at this point in time, I can only enforce the codes, but the codes are against individual property owners. Now, at some point in time, Mr. Rod, if you're still out there, you know, feeding these cats and continuing this problem, I will find that you're in violation of the code. And at that point, it'll be a short fuse as far as you have to comply, and then there'll be a fine that will be imposed. So I hope you can tell I'm a little frustrated, because this situation's going on for years.
I understand.
All right. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to continue for 30 days, or to the next hearing.
Sir, if I may,
We're done, sir.
oh, okay.
We're done. Thank you for being here tonight. I appreciate it. I know it was an imposition. I am trying to help with the problem out there.
I appreciate it, sir. And this will be reconvened at a later...
You'll make sure this gentleman please gets notice of this hearing for when it's continued.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
It will be June 23rd, just to let you know.
Thank you.
June the 23rd?
June 23rd, same time.
Okay. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate your cooperation. Let's see if we can solve this problem, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Is it okay for us to leave now, or you...
We're done with your case, sir. It's all done. We're going to move on. All right, the next case is Jacqueline Jenkins. Let me find where that is, what case number that is.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yes.
All right, here we go. Jacqueline Jenkins. This is case DEL 21060. Property address is 3024 India Boulevard. Property owner, Jacqueline Jenkins. This is regarding an alleged public nuisance. Officer Marion
Laracy.
So that is that is correct now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, got it. Right, city ready to proceed.
Yes, sir.
Tell me why we're here.
My name is Marion Laracy. I'm employed with the City of Deltona as an enforcement officer. This case is in reference to DEL 21-060, the City of Deltona versus Jacqueline D. Jr. Jenkins. The property address is 3024 India Boulevard, Deltona, Florida. Parcel ID number is 044-160-170. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance, Section 37-10, public nuisance, which states all blighted and distressed real properties are hereby declared as a public nuisance, the abatement of which pursuant the police power is hereby declared to be necessary for health, welfare, and safety of the residents of the city. All statutory requirements have been met. The notice of hearing and notice of code violations were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser records and were posted on the property 10 days prior to the hearing. All the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the code board clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. This case began July of 2020. I noticed a tarp on the roof of the residence. I waited the allotted time. In October 2020, I left a notice reference the current violation of a tarped roof. The property owner called to inform that she was had recently moved back and unaware that the roof was in condition. She had advised that she was working with a couple of companies, Total Home and Innovation Solutions, for quotes for the roof repair, and had requested some more time since she had just moved and trying to get the quotes situated. So I did extend the case. She did tell me, Ms. Jenkins advised me that the roofing company, Total Home, was contracted to do the roof, but is waiting for funding. I offered the program that the city has available. She was not eligible for that program. And at the last time I did speak to her, she advised that she's waiting for, I guess, a VA assistance through the VA. And the property's still in violation, so now we're here tonight. As of today, it's still in violation with the tarp.
How long has this property been like this?
Well, I first noticed it July 2020.
We're coming up on a year then.
Yes, sir.
Still in violation.
Yes, sir.
Has the property given you any idea of where we're going, how long it's going to take?
No, sir.
Okay. Anything further?
No, sir, not at this time.
Is anyone here for this case? Ms. Jenkins? Yes. If you could come forward, make sure you give everybody your name and your address, and let me know what you want me to hear.
I'm Jacqueline Jenkins, Jr., owner of 3024 India Boulevard in Deltona. Your Honor, I am a veteran and a disabled veteran as well. I moved to Alabama back in 2015 to work for the federal government. I work at the VA in Tuskegee, Alabama. I haven't been home in years.
When you say home, you mean this address, this property?
Yes. I got a phone call from my sister-in-law last year, July. She calls me and she says, your mom and your brother has moved his friend and his daughter in your home, and you need to come check on your house. I call the cops because no one's supposed to be in my house. That's my house, and no one else supposed to be in it. Plus, Your Honor, I have documentation here where I sent my mom a letter, eviction notice, back in 2017. I have a copy of it there for her to leave my house. It was my mom that moved in my house after I had moved to Alabama.
Ms. Jenkins, I don't mean to cut you off, but what we're here on is not who's living in the house. What we're here on is what's the condition of the house. And you've got a roof that's got a tarp on it. It's had a tarp on it for over a year. And that's the violation. That's really all we're here to talk about.
Right.
If there was an issue about what the people in the house are doing, then I would not cut you off. I'd let you tell me everything you want me to, but I need to hear about your roof and what your intentions are.
Okay, well, when I came home and I put my mom out, she got mad. That's how the code enforcement officer found out about the roof. My mom called her and told her, but she's the one that put that up there. So at this point, Your Honor, I had told the officer that I was waiting on my job to be transferred back here to Florida. That way I have the money, because I'm on leave. I haven't worked since I've been back here, and I'm on disability.
Are you living in the house? Mm-hmm. Okay. What's it like inside the house? I mean, is it leaking?
It was, but well, it hasn't been raining.
We haven't had any rain. That's why everything's brown. But I mean, what I'm hearing is if we have a big storm, your house is going to get wet inside. It drips, but it's not like flood.
All
right. How long do you think you're going to need to get this roof fixed, ma'am?
Well,
because it's code violation.
Yes, I understand that, sir. And I told her once my job get transferred from Alabama to here, then I have the finances to get that, to get that tarp removed.
Well, have
So
you-
I am I'm trying to get it done.
Okay,
And
so have you contacted a roofing contractor? Do you have an estimate that you
Oh,
can
yes,
show
I
me?
had several estimates, but I need the money to get it done.
All right, so are we talking about a whole new roof? Or are we talking about just a couple portions of the roof? What is it?
They've been telling me that the roof needs to be done. They think, yeah. But I'm still working on getting more estimates because there's some handyman that works on roofs as well, and they're not going to charge as much as, a big contracting company, so.
Okay. Question for the city. Is it the whole roof? What's the city's position? It's just, I mean, what's the public issue here? What's the code violation?
So the code violation is the tarp. I am not able to see any damage to the roof. She has told me that there's leaking in the house, but I have not been in the house personally. My case is solely based on the roof having the tarp on it.
Okay.
For an
Ma'am, how
extended
much-
period of time.
You told me, and I get it, you got to find a way to get some money, and you got to get your job back here. Where are you on that?
Well, I've been interviewing, so I'm just waiting on the good Lord to give me the position then.
Okay, well, you understand my position. It's been a year, maybe more,
Right, Jan.
and you got neighbors that are, around you, and it looks like it's a real nice house, except it's got a blue tarp on it. And if that was your next door neighbor, I'm sure, and you were living in that house and you keep it real nice, I'm sure you'd want that roof fixed. So I need to find what's a reasonable period of time for you to get that roof fixed. So help me out with that, because I don't want to make it so we're back here and I'm putting a fine on you. But on the other hand, I can't let this just be ignored either.
Right, yes, Your Honor, I understand.
So 90 days?
Yes, we could follow up in 90 days.
Okay,
Yes,
all right.
sir.
Well, I'm going to find the property is in violation, and ma'am, I'm going to give you 90 days. And you're going to need to get a permit. I'm not going to tell you everything, but you're going to need to get a permit. You're going to need to come down and get a permit, and get the roof done. And when the property's fixed up, you need to contact that lady right there, make sure she knows that you're in compliance. Okay, and if it doesn't get done in 90 days, then I'm going to impose a fine of $50 a day. That's the leverage here. So it's not just a pretty face you're looking at. I mean, this can cost you some money. I don't want it to cost you money. That's why I was trying to figure out what the reasonable period of time is. So I need for you to just, not wait until the 89th day.
Right.
Because then the fine can start, and I don't want that.
Right.
What I want is what the neighbors in the city want, which is code compliance. That's all. All right? All right. So you understand where we are?
Yes.
Okay. I appreciate you being here tonight. Good luck with getting that job.
Thank you.
All right. All right, the next case is James and, we did that one. DEL 21053, 2055 East Prairie, I believe it's the Spencers? Am I getting that right? Okay, hang on, let me find that. Okay. All right. Hang on just a second. I need to hear from the city first. Okay? You can stay there if you want, but I just don't want you to have to stand longer than you want to.
It's okay.
Okay, this is DEL 21053, property address 2055 East Prairie Circle. Mr. Glenroy Spencer is the property owner on my agenda. And the nature of this case is no permit for lot clearing. And the Officer Brockhoff. You city ready to proceed?
Yes, we are.
All right. Tell me what you want me to hear.
My name is Steve Brockhoff, employee with the City of Deltona's Enforcement Officer. This will be case number DEL 21-053, City of Deltona versus Glenroy Spencer. Property address is 2055 East Prairie Circle, Deltona. Parcel ID number is 8130 0942050. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-3, adopting the latest edition of Florida Building Code, Section 105.1, which states that any owner, authorized agent who intends to construct, enlarge, alter, repair, move, demolish, or change the occupancy of a building or structure, or erect, install, enlarge, alter, repair, remove, convert, or replace any electrical or gas, mechanical or plumbing system, the installation which is regulated by this code, or to cause such work to be done, shall first make application with a building official and obtain a required permit. Statutory requirements for this notification of hearing have been notice of hearing and notice of violation were sent certified mail to the property owner listed at the property appraiser's records office. In addition, both notices are posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the code board clerk. I certify that all photographs be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed the day that they were taken. This case began March 1st when the city got a complaint of the lot being cleared and clearing without a permit. Because of the severity of the grade of this particular location, it was getting a lot of erosion, and due to that, the city public works went in and installed silt fencing to try to control it. On April 19th, the notice of violation time to correct was sent April 19th. A notice of hearing is sent May 10th. The owner contacted me on May 18th, and he was hoping to have a resolution before tonight, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done. I then contacted the Director of Public Works, Ms. Wallace, and asked for her recommendations on what it would take to have this property come into compliance due to the large amount of vegetation that was removed and piled. She provided me with an email, what would be required to either finish the permit, complete the project, or to restore the property to control the erosion. And Ms. Wallace is here also.
Say what? Mrs. Wallace is here, the director. Okay. Let me see if I understand. So what we've got here, we've got some lot clearing, and what the gentleman should have done, he should have come in and gotten a permit before he started doing the work.
That's correct.
Okay, so now for compliance, he's going to have to come in and get the permit or restore the lot the way it was.
That's correct.
Which is pretty unlikely. Restoring the lot the way it was.
The other thing I believe, and
I've seen the pictures.
Yeah, and I believe, the director would be able to probably explain a little better, because one of the options was to, I believe, seed or sod the property. In other words, you're not going to be able to probably plant the trees the way they were in that type, but by seeding the property or restoring the sod, if you're not going to be building, would then stabilize the
So that would be another option for this property owner to come into compliance.
Yes, either complete the project, get the permit, build the house, or to grade and reseed and sod the property to control
I got it. All right, Mr. Spencer, what do you want to do?
Well, whatever the city wants me to do, I offer to either seed it, sod it, or cover the site with erosion control material like some kind of filter fabric. And I was told I had to attend the hearing and hear what the city is willing to accept.
Well, what I'm hearing is there's several options. And what I need to know, because I haven't heard anybody tell me that there isn't a code violation. So what we need to do then, Mr. Spencer, is find out what's a reasonable period for you to make your decision about what you want to do for your lot, and then how long will it take to do that. So you could go in and get a permit for your lot clearing and continue on to do it right, or you could seed and sod it. So I'm going to ask Mr. Brockhoff, what are we looking at for either option? Time-wise?
Time-wise, the owner indicated that he is having some difficulties with the people that are trying to design the house, because they have not done one on such a grade. So he would be able to tell you what kind of time frame he's going to be asking for that. In the restoration...
Well, I'm not asking for the time to build the house, and that's not compliance. Compliance is getting a permit, right?
That's correct, but in order to get the permit, he's got to get the engineers to actually be able to figure out and apply.
Okay, thanks. I appreciate that. Now I understand.
Yeah, and for restoration, the probably best would be to have the deputy director
Okay, let
answer
me
that.
hear from her, sir, because I'm trying to find a reasonable period of time.
Okay.
Ma'am, if you could give me your name and your address, please. Fantastic. What I'm looking for is what you consider to be a reasonable time frame for these options that have been identified to me so far for this gentleman's compliance.
I understand the grading difficulties that you're struggling with, because the grade from his property to the rear, which is what caused us to have to go out and take preventative action, is severe, so I can understand that. So I gave the option, if you could not obtain a permit, make application and obtain a permit in 90 days, I requested that he consider maintaining the silt fence that the city put up, make sure that he's out there inspecting the property on a regular basis, and come 90 days, if that had not happened, then he would have to look at restoring it by seeding, regrading and doing some seeding, getting the seed established so we had vegetation. So I was looking for something to happen within 90 days.
Okay, so let's just say the worst case scenario, because I'm trying to make sure that we look at both sides of this. What if there's not compliance? What are the consequences to the neighbors, to the street, to the city, what? To our stormwater system? What happens? I'm not saying that's going to happen, sir, but what? Hang on.
It would be severe. The grading change from the lot on Prairie to the homes to the back on Dixie Belle is approximately 21 feet difference.
Okay.
So that gives you a visual if that lot were to be impacted by a storm, and that's what
Because it's
prompted us to
almost
get out
June.
there. We're looking at basically, I know we don't have landslides in Florida, but that's what I'm
A lot of dirt's going to get moved off
It is, and
that.
it's going to go down to 2 to possibly 3 homes to the rear. It's going to impact the road to the rear, possibly get into our stormwater system.
That's what I need to know. All right.
Everything downhill from him could be adversely impacted.
That's what happens, right. So, sir, you understand why I'm asking these questions?
Yeah.
What kind of time frame, I mean, you're standing here in front of me. What do you want to do with this?
Well, I would love to complete the project, but the project is running into some difficulties, both from the design standpoint and the financial standpoint. I need maybe 30 days to sod it, cover it with fabric, maintain the silt fence as she recommended, do whatever the city wants. I can be out there tomorrow seeding and sodding if that's what will make the city happy. That's not an issue, okay? My issue is I made 4 attempts to get a permit, and I was told you don't need a permit. I explained to the city that this is an old construction dump site, and part of the problem we're having with the design is because it was covered with construction debris, and the contours could not be properly surveyed because they were surveying debris instead of virgin ground. So I need to do a clearing to remove the debris. I was told at least on 4 occasions, you do not need a permit.
Who told you that?
That is incorrect, sir. I never told him that.
I asked, can you do a pre and post inspection to make sure I'm in compliance? Sir, I don't have anybody to send out there and I'm not coming. Do what you have to do. What you're telling me, you don't need a permit. I have no problem complying with the permits.
Okay.
Apply for one.
Well, let's go from there.
Pay for one.
I can't fix what happened in the
But
past.
I don't want to be misled with erroneous information.
I don't blame you. So let's move from this point forward. Because what you got a lot out there.
Yep.
That's been cleared. I saw the pictures, got a lot of sand.
Yep.
And I know what happens to sand when you got a lot of rain.
Yep.
That's not good for you, it's not good for your neighbors. So I think we all agree, let's just move forward. So what I'm hearing is that you can get out there and you can at least stop the immediate problem pretty quickly by sodding it and seeding it and getting that done pretty quickly.
Yep.
And that'll give you some time then to go and work with the city to get the permit.
That's what it takes. I can do that.
Okay, so what I'm going to say is I'm going to find that the property is in violation right now. I think we all agree on that. I'm going to give you 21 days to sod or seed it so that we don't have, I mean, we're getting close to June and July, and we all know what happens in Florida, thunderstorms, et cetera. So 21 days to comply, and then I'm going to give you 90 days. If you intend to go forward to get the permit, it's going to be 90 days.
Sure.
And when you comply, you need to let this gentleman, Mr. Brockhoff, know. And if there's not compliance, I'm going to impose a fine of $50 per day. Okay?
Fair enough.
Do you understand what I'm asking you to do?
Clearly.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Good. Good luck. And I don't envy you sodding or seeding in Florida in June.
Not an issue, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the next case is DEL 21-062-2543 Newark Drive. Looks like this was on the sheet twice. Melissa Latour, I apologize, I'm just having a hard reading it, and Christopher Lequino. And again, I apologize if I butchered your last names. 062.
Nope, never noted that.
Okay.
Newark.
Okay, DEL 21-062, property address 2543 Newark Drive, property owners Christopher Aquino Lamboy and Melissa Ilvelici, I'm so sorry, Latori Gonzalez. And there you are. Okay. And this has to do with parking. Is it just one case?
Yeah, just
Okay.
one case.
I have Officer Brockhoff as the officer handling this. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, city ready to proceed?
Yes, we are. My name is Steve Brockhoff, employee with the City of Deltona as enforcement officer. This will be case number DEL 21-062, City of Deltona versus Christopher Aquino Lamboy and Melissa Evelisa Latori. Property address is 2543 Newmark Drive, and the parcel ID number is 8130-4016-0140. The violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 66-18, improper parked residential tractor trailer. Violation of city, which states that no vehicle greater than 10,000 pounds manufactured gross vehicle weight or designed to carry 16 or more passengers or required to a CDL driver's license or endorsement to operate shall be parked, stored in any residential, agricultural zoned district except in agriculture areas and lots of 5 acres or more. Statutory requirements for notification of this hearing had been met by notice of hearing and notice of code violation were sent certified mailed to the property owner at the address listed property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days before the hearing. All evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the code board clerk. I certify that any and all photographs be true and accurate portrayals of the day I observed when they were taken. This case began for me in May 5th when traffic was stalled in both directions on Newmark while the truck was being wiggled into the front yard. I pulled over to the median, or excuse me, the right-of-way, got out of the vehicle to take a picture of the violation. The operator of the vehicle then noticed me and then pulled back out. I noticed that on December 9th, in the computers, 2020, Officer San Miguel had given the owner a verbal warning stating that he couldn't bring a vehicle of over 10,000 pounds and park it in a residential area. And on February 2nd, 2021, Officer Muse sent notice of violation, and that's what I've included in this case as public record, to the and time to correct being February 10th. So when I noticed this May 5th, it was well after the February 10th notice to comply. And that basically brings us to here. What the city is seeking, I've been by the property several times and have not seen it. And I went by there today, it is not there. So what the city is seeking is to be found in noncompliance at the time of posting. The city would like a one-time $100 fine and then be able to be considered a repeat violator in the future.
Well, I don't know that I can give you the fine because it's not a repeat violation now. Because he'd have to be in, the property would have to be in violation now. If it was a repeat violation, that'd be different. But you
Well-
said the property's in compliance
Well,
now.
it's in compliance now, however, the original notice of violation gave a compliance date in February, and it was in violation again in May.
Okay. All right, they're here. Do they want?
Here, and I was explaining what the Officer Brockhoff has just mentioned about information on the property, the type of violation, and the dates that occurred.
What do they have to say?
Okay, okay.
Sí, diga su nombre.
Hi, my name is Melissa Latour, and my address is 2543 Newmark Drive, Deltona. It's my husband, Christopher Aquino, and it's correct, the truck was there. The picture is showing that the truck was there. He was just parking. He was coming from 2 weeks out of the state, and he was just parking there to leave my nephew, who sometimes drive with him. He left my nephew and he moved out. I just have to clarify that the truck was not parked there any more than that minute that was there. Not even a day from that day, it's been parked there.
Where you have it now, ma'am?
In Orlando.
Okay.
There's a,
So you all understand now,
now, yes.
as of today,
Yes.
that truck can't be parked on that residence?
That's correct, sir.
Okay.
The reason that he parked there to leave my nephew, to drop off my nephew, was because we asked an officer, random officer. Unfortunately, I don't have a name or anything to tell you who was it. I just asked because the first time that, like he said, he's correct, we received a notice that when we bought the truck, we were just starting with the business. We moved here 3 years ago. There's not much that we know. But we just started, and then we parked the truck the first time, so they gave us a notice in our house. And that was in December or January, I'm not pretty sure. Okay. So we didn't know that it wasn't allowed to, we were not allowed to park there. But when we asked an officer, they told us that we can drop off someone, or when he comes, he takes his clothes out of the truck and everything to clean it and all that. So they told us that we were allowed to do that. So that's the reason he did that.
Okay. Here's what I'm going to find. I'm going to find that there was a violation. I mean, it's pretty clear. And it was after the deadline in the notice of violation. The property, I'm going to find the property's in compliance now, because it's not out there now.
No, it's not out there.
And what that means is, because I'm going to put that in a written piece of paper, it's a written order, and it's going to be sent to you all, to your home.
Yes, sir.
And what it's going to say is that if this happens again, it's going to be what's called a repeat violation. And I'm not going to impose a fine today. City's not looking for costs.
Well, we're fine with no fine.
Okay.
Fine with no
I'm
fine.
not going to impose a fine today, but I want to be really clear.
I assure you, sir, I understand it won't
If
happen.
it gets out there again, it's probably one of your neighbors isn't going to like it, and they're going to call this guy right here. He's going to go out there, and then a fine. You won't get another, chance to fix it. The fine will just start, and it'll be a daily fine for every day that the truck's out there. And I know you don't want that.
No, sir.
So that's why I'm belaboring this. So if it's out there again, the next time it will be a fine
No, trust
per
me.
day.
I understand, and I am sure he understands, because I've been on his tail since that day
Okay.
till today. So
Because that's
it's
what we
not-
want. We just want the code
And I
compliance.
apologize, we didn't know
I get
how
it.
the rules are, so we didn't understand.
I appreciate you being here tonight.
Thank you.
Mr. Reichman, could you advise them of the fee that it would be if you're coming back as a repeat?
Yeah, I don't mean to belabor this, but under the law, it could be up to $500 a day.
I understand that.
That's a lot of truck driving.
Yes.
So you don't want that.
No.
Okay. All right. So, if you got it in Orlando, keep it in Orlando. I know it's inconvenient, but you just can't do that with your neighbors and everything, having that truck out there. Just can't do it.
I understand now. Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, todo va a estar terminado. Ellos le van a dar le van a mandar por correo también la resulta de hoy para explicar que sí, esa fecha estaba en la violación, pero después de esa fecha ya está. No. Thank you.
is all I got. That's the only thing I have no idea where that came from.
All right, the next case is 1651 Alloway Drive. Let me try to find that. Anyone that can help me what case that is? 063? Two of them, thank you. All right, we've got two cases.
Yes, sir.
They're related but different, two different codes. City going to present them together as one case, or do you want to handle them separately?
The city will be presenting them separately, sir.
Okay. So I'm going to go with the first one. This is DL 21063, property address 1651 Alloway Drive, property owner Deborah F. and Joseph Monteith. This has to do with a pool. City ready to proceed?
Yes, sir. Would you like me to present the in violation photos of the day today in hand to you, or do you want me to just present them to you on the screen?
Screen's fine.
Understood. I will be presenting DEL 210-063 first. My name is Myron San Miguel. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as an enforcement officer. This will be case DEL 21-063, City of Deltona versus, and excuse me if I pronounce this wrong, Monteith Deborah F. and Monteith Joseph L., living at 1651 Alloway Drive, Deltona, Florida 32738. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-5, 303.1, pools unsanitary, which states that swimming pools shall be maintained in a clean and sanitary condition and in good repair. The corrective action would be to clean or drain clean the pool or drain and cover the pool completely. On the screen, you will see the green pool. There are 3 photos. When I arrived today, the homeowner was actively trying to clean the pool. This case was initially opened up back in March. I had a hard time getting in contact with the owners. When I finally did, there was progress on the pool, and there still continues to be progress. However, it is not considered clean or in compliance yet, which seems to be taking a little bit longer than expected. Therefore, we decided to bring her up to Special Magistrate to try and encourage a more expedited resolution.
So you issued a notice of violation. What was the deadline for compliance in the notice of violation?
I apologize, my dates are wrong. The date case established was February 14th. It was given a compliance deadline of March 3rd.
Did you go out and inspect on March 3rd or thereabouts?
I did.
What did you find?
I found that she was in non-compliance at the time.
Are any of these photos that you presented? What are the dates of those photos?
These photos were taken as of this afternoon at 1600. I'm not sure why the date and time stamp did not
Do those
come up.
represent the condition of the pool at the time of the deadline for the NOV?
These represent the pool as of today.
No, I understand that, but I mean, was it a comparable condition back in March? Or was it worse back then?
It was worse back then, sir. I can pull those photos up.
So it's getting a little better.
It's getting better. It's just still not there, and we're far past the deadline, coming up on almost 6 months of violation.
Okay. This case is just about the condition of the pool.
Yes, sir. This case is specifically about the condition of the pool.
Right.
This was the observation of the pool on the day of February 14th. It's hard to see because I was not able to make contact. I was not able to.
I can't tell the condition of the pool from that photo. All right. Is that, what's the date of that one?
April 21st.
Okay, got it. All right. Is anyone here representing the property? Ma'am, if you could come up and give me your name and your address, please.
Deborah Monteith, 1651 Alloway Drive.
So my question is, looks like you're trying. How much more time do you need?
Well, hopefully not much for the pool. It just seems to be blooming really bad this year, and I can't, every time I'll get it almost clean, and then 2 days later,
I think the
it's...
bigger issue is going to be the screening, so that's why I just want to try to get this one out of the way, and then we can talk about the screening, because these are two different matters, Mrs. Monteith. So, you know,
30
2 weeks.
days.
2 weeks to...
2 weeks, 2 weeks.
2 weeks, okay. So I'm going to find the property remains in non-compliance. It's in violation. I'll give you 2 weeks, ma'am, to get the pool the way it's supposed to be, okay? And then a fine of $25 per day if it's not. I think that's reasonable.
Yes,
you know,
sir.
I've had a pool. I mean, it happens. But this has been going on a long time. So that's why I think we're here today. It's because it hasn't been fixed. So I'm going to say it's in violation. What did I say, 21 days to comply? That's what I said? 14, excuse me. Been a long day. Or $25 per day. Okay? So now we're going to go to the next case, ma'am. So if you want to, you can have a seat, because I'm listening to the city again. And this next case is the one probably we need to be paying more attention about, because it's the screen, based upon the pictures that I've seen today. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, sir. Again, for the record, my name is Myron San Miguel, employed by the City of Deltona as enforcement officer. This is for case number DEL 21-064, Monteith Deborah F. and Monteith Joseph L., located at 1651 Alloway Drive, Deltona, Florida 32738. Section in violation is Section 18-5, adopting the latest edition of the International Property Maintenance Code, Section 303.2, which states that all private swimming pools, hot tubs, and spas containing water more than 24 inches in depth shall be completely surrounded by a fence or barrier at least 48 inches in height above the finished ground level, measured on the side of the barriers away from the pool. The corrective action is to replace the screens. This was also noticed on the date of February. After further contact with the owners, I was able to get better pictures. However, in the initial photos, you were able to see the screens in disrepair and ripped and torn.
Is it that way today still? Or when did you last inspect the property?
I last inspected the property this afternoon, again at 1600. These photos are photos of non-compliance as of in violation today. The bottom screen there is missing. Okay. The screen here is ripped and torn open.
So the code requires that there be basically a security around an in-ground pool, or a pool that's more than 18, 24 inches deep.
Yes, sir.
So is there a fence around the backyard?
There is not a fence around the backyard.
All right, so fair enough. So without this fence and without the screen, there's nothing to prevent something or somebody from getting into this pool and something bad happen.
Correct.
Okay.
In circumstances like this, the pool screen in its entirety needs to be repaired.
Right.
Including the roof.
Well, we're not here on the roof. Well, the screen roof.
The screen roof, yes, sir. In this photo right here.
House.
Correct.
Okay. Do you know how long this screen situation, this lack of security for this pool has been like this?
It was initially noticed on the same date as the last case, February 14th.
Okay.
With a violation NOV of the same date.
Okay. This is in a residential neighborhood?
Yes, sir, it is. It is a corner lot.
Okay. All right. Ms. Monteith, this one gives me some worry. Tell me what we can do here.
Well, he didn't show you, there are some, I am about halfway done getting around that, on the bottom. I'm living paycheck to paycheck right now. As soon as I pay my mortgage, I'm gonna go get some more screen.
Are you doing it yourself?
I have no money.
No, I understand.
To pay somebody to do it.
I just asking, that's all.
You know, my taxes are messed up. I have not seen last year's or this year's taxes, so therefore I have seen no stimulus checks either.
Okay. What's the city want in this case?
There is two names on this, but my father's been dead for 17 years, and I don't know why that's still on there.
Well, what that means is that you own the property. Possibly the title needs to be updated, but again, that's not what we're here on tonight. And as the owner of the property, this code applies to the owner of the property, it applies to you.
All this has been now repaired, all along this side.
I think we would agree, though, there's more repairs to be done for the property to come into compliance. So, I mean, here's my concern. It's a neighborhood. You know, I was a 6-year-old boy at one point in time, not the brightest. That's what 6-year-old boys do. They do stupid things. And I'm worried about public safety. So I need to find a reasonable period of time for this public safety matter to be fixed. And I wouldn't want you to have to deal with that either, ma'am, be quite candid with you. Something horrible happened. I'm not a 6-year-old, a 2-year-old, right? You read about it in the paper every now and then, and I don't want to get up.
I have a new grandbaby.
Right, and I don't want to get up in the morning, read the Orlando Sentinel, and see, you know, this case and this property and something horrible happened. I don't want to have to worry about that. I don't think you do either. So let's find a reasonable period of time. What's the city say?
Okay.
The city believes.
This quoted 48 inches high. Can we take care of that first and then go on to the roof?
Well, that's the code violation. It's got to be more than, she's got to get security of 48. I mean, that's the one you cited. Is there
one for the roof also?
If you fix the bottom, the city will find that within compliance.
Okay.
Okay, if I have to beg, steal, or borrow within.
All right. I'm going to do 14 days again because it's just, yeah, but you know why I'm doing it, ma'am. I'm not trying to be.
I know.
I hope you appreciate why I'm doing this, because I am concerned about little ones. And so I'm going to say 14 days to get that fence, that screening, to 40 inches done, all right? Or a fine of $50 a day. Now, we don't want the fine, we all want to make sure that property's safe for your neighborhood. Okay?
Yes, sir.
To be clear, from what I saw today when I was out there taking those photos, there was only 2 or 3 screens at that height that need to be finalized.
Now, let's go there though. So that fixes the 48 inches. Is there a different code violation for the rest of the screen?
Yes, sir.
Is that what we're here on today too?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. All right. So when you get it fixed, please call this gentleman right here and let him know that you've got it fixed. We don't want to fine you. Fair enough?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Okay, good luck. Okay, our last case as far as someone here is Bolton DEL 21008. Let me find that. 568 Normandy Boulevard. Sorry, last, but here you are. Okay.
Your Honor, there's actually 2 cases, 21006 and 21008.
So these are both Massey hearings?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
You want me to do 06 or 08 first, sir?
Let's see. The first one on my agenda is 06, which is outdoor storage. And so let me go ahead and read it into the record. This is 2 cases, but we're going to deal with one at a time. First one is DEL 21006. It's a Massey case. The property address is 568 East Normandy Boulevard. Property owner Andres Aveli's estate. And I see on my sheet here that Mrs. Bolton is here.
I am. I really, honestly, I'm more of an observer because I technically have no interest in this property at all.
Okay, well, we'll hear more about that in a little bit.
Got it.
Okay? I'm going to hear from the city first.
Okay, this is My name is Richard Levin. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as Enforcement Services Supervisor, and my credentials are on file with City. This is case number DEL 21-006. Address is 568 East Normandy Boulevard. Property owner is Andres Aviles. This case was heard on January 27, 2021. An order was signed on January 27, 2021, given 10 days to come into compliance or a fine of $50 per day until the property comes in compliance. The property was being inset from February 6th through February 24th. That was a total of 18 days at $50 a day, which was a total of $900. When we brought the case back in February 24th, we had a representative from the bank and from the courts that showed up that was trying to help them work through it. So we gave them a 90-day continuance on the property.
Before a fine would be imposed?
Before the fine was imposed, you decided to give them another 90-day continuance since we had a representative from the courts.
Got it.
That was trying to help them with this.
Yep.
The case, there's no changes to the case. It's still in violation as of today. The courts, the guardian ad litem that was in charge of it has pulled herself from the case. Are you still on the case, or are you pulled?
Do you want me to go into it now?
Well, just a second. I want. So let me make sure. So we, as of some time in the past, there was 18 days at that time of a continuing violation, non-compliant.
Between
$50 a day.
February 6th and February 24th.
Okay, but it's still in violation.
But there was another 109 days total at $50 a day going back, which would be $5,450.
Okay, so we got outdoor storage. Is the property?
I wanted to give you both dates and give you both times.
I know. We'll get to. I want to understand a little more about the property. So it's still in violation. It's a Massey hearing. Is property occupied?
Yes, property is occupied.
Do you know by whom?
No.
Okay. Have you had any communication with the occupant?
No.
Okay. The owner is an estate?
I've seen vehicles there, but nobody has ever answered the door when I've gone there.
Okay. Well, maybe Mrs. Bolton can help. Ma'am, if you give me your name and your address, please.
Is this okay?
It doesn't matter to me.
My name is Anissa Bolton, and my personal residence address is 1111 Silver Saddle Trail, DeLand, Florida, 32724.
What's your role what's your relationship to, why are you here today?
I actually, I'm an attorney, and I was appointed as a guardian ad litem in this case because it's a foreclosure action. I typically have several plaintiff's attorneys that will appoint me to locate heirs when there's a deceased party. So I was appointed solely for the purpose of giving a report to the court, indicating who the heirs were to the property, and filing an answer for any unknown heirs to preserve their interests.
I've been so appointed. I
Yes.
understand exactly your role.
That was it as far as my role with this property. And so I guess I was sent a notice to my post office box. And
Of this, wait a minute, you received a notice?
yeah, and it actually had my name, and I guess it was a typographical error. I did end up calling, but the notice actually has my name, the City of Deltona versus Anissa Bolton. So of course I received that and I panicked. I'm like, I don't.
get it. So you were appointed by, in the foreclosure court proceeding by the bank's attorney?
Yes, well, by the court, but at the request.
I get it.
Yeah,
At the
yeah, yeah.
request, at the motion of the bank's attorney. Have you communicated with the bank's attorney about today's hearing?
No, because I'm technically no longer involved. That was never my role in the property. It was just.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right. Who else did the city notice for today's hearing?
We noticed the guardian ad litem that was on it. We notified the bank, and we notified the owner that was on the property appraisers. So we notified everybody that we had an information.
Did you post?
I'm sorry?
Did you post the property?
And we posted the property.
Do you know who's in the,
Yeah.
part of your work,
I know who's in the property.
Who's in the property?
Well, assuming it's still the same person, she filed an answer, and her name is Jasmine Rodriguez. She sent this answer to Tromberg Law Group, who's the plaintiff's attorney, and this was back in 2019. So I don't know if this is still the same person, but she at the time was indicating.
Did you talk to her?
No, I didn't have any reason to talk to her because I located heirs and filed an answer with the court.
So your research did not indicate that she was an heir?
No, she was not an
She could be a
heir.
squatter.
Yeah, she claimed that she was renting from the property owner, but it turned out that it was a Wendell Mendez who they thought was the owner, and it was a scam. So what the bank did about that, I have no idea, because.
All right, so the person in there is renting from someone that has no right to rent the property?
Correct.
All right.
Yep.
What's the status of the foreclosure, if you know?
Yes, final judgment was entered on April 27th. The sale is on June 29th.
The sale is a month away?
Correct. So the bank should, well, hypothetically, could be the successful bidder.
So remind me, and this is going to sound really stupid, why did we give them 90 days?
Because they were in the process of the foreclosure, and we were giving them 90 days to work through that, to try and get some resolve. That's what they asked for, and we agreed that that was a good amount of time.
Apparently that wasn't enough time.
Apparently.
Okay. Well, they're not here today, are they?
No.
You haven't talked with anyone with the bank?
No, this is the first time I heard that it's going for sale on that date, so.
Well, they can come in and ask for a reduction. I'm going to find the property remains in non-compliance and violation, and what was the number of days?
Number of days?
Through today.
109 days at $50 a day, which is $5,450.
109 or 190?
109, 109.
So part of my concerns today is I'm actually here to protect myself to a certain extent because of my name being put on the notice, the city of Deltona versus Anissa Bolton. I want to make sure this lien will not include my name personally.
It will not.
No.
The Massey order will not include the attorney ad litem.
No, it
Let's
just
be
goes
really clear to everyone that's involved in this. She has no role whatsoever in this other than an appointment by the court to locate the heirs of the estate. That's it.
Yeah, the officer that did it should have put it in care of.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was not.
Just want to make sure it's clear for the record, because her point is well taken.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, let's move on to the next case. It's the same property. Ms. Bolton, you're welcome to stay if you want. I'm sure you're having a great old time, but but here we are. The next case is DL 21008. It's a Massey hearing. Property address 568 East Normandy Boulevard. Property owner Andres Avalos Estate. No permit for carport roof. Officer Muse, I would think that we're going to have the same conversation.
Yes, we are. So, my name is Richard Love, and I'm employed by the City of Deltona as Enforcement Services Supervisor, and my credentials are on file with the city. Case number DEL 21-008, address is 568 East Normandy Boulevard. Property owner is Andres Avalos. This case was heard on January 27, 2021. The order was signed on January 27, 2021, giving 14 days to February 10th to come into compliance or a fine of $50 per day until the property comes into compliance. The property was still in violation from February 10th to February 24th, given a 14 days at $50 a day when it came back in February of $700. We did the same thing on this one. We gave them 90 days. But as of today, they're still in violation at 105 days at $50 a day at $5,250.
Ms. Bolton, what I'm going to take, and for the record, I'm going to find that we're exactly the same as the last case. You're exactly the same as the last case. There's nothing that's changed other than it's 105 days and fines $5,250. Is there anything else that you'd like to add?
No, just the same exact concerns I had with the previous.
Okay, thank you.
And her concerns are the same. And the answer to those concerns is the same. She has no role in this, and any order will not involve her whatsoever.
No, straight against Andrea Villas, which is who's on the property appraisal.
Okay. To the extent, ma'am, that you have any communications with the bank's attorney, you might want to let him know that you know, I didn't have much choice. There wasn't anyone here, and there's some neighbors out there that probably want this property brought into compliance.
Correct.
They can contact the city of Deltona if they wish to try to deal with the fines, because this will not be homesteaded property.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you for being here. Appreciate
appreciate
it.
it.
You take care.
Thank you.
Yeah, 721, just one picture.
All right. Is there anyone else here? I think that was it for.
Nope, that's it.
Okay, let's just go through the agenda then. The next one that I have is DEL 21043.
It's not coming up.
721 Waterfall Circle, the Eco Home. It's a Massey hearing. Is that how it is on everyone else's too?
Yep. My name is Richard Love, and I'm employed by the City of Deltona as Enforcement Services Supervisor, and my credentials are on file with the city. This is case number DEL 21-043. The property address 721 Waterfall Court. The property owner is Echo Home Company, LLC. This case was heard on the 28th of April, 2021. An order was signed on April 28th, 2021, given 2 days to come into compliance by obtaining their permit for an expired permit, or a fine of $250 per day until the property comes into compliance. Property is still in violation for a total of 25 days at $250 a day, for a total fine of $6,250.
25 days, $250 per day. Any communications with the property owner?
Nothing. Nothing from them. I checked with the building department right before we walked in.
Still in violation, 25 days, $250 per day, $6,250.
Yes, sir.
So ordered. Next is case I've got, it's the last Massey case on my agenda, DEL 21044, property address 1507 Monica Court, proper owner Florida Lot Company, LLC.
My name is Richard Love, and I'm employed by the City of Deltona as Enforcement Services Officer, and my credentials are on file with the city. This is case number DEL 21-044, property address of 1507 Monica Court. Property owner is Florida Lot Company, LLC. This case was heard on April 28th, 2021. An order was signed on April 28, 2021, given 2 days to come into compliance by getting their expired permit back up to date, and a fine of $250 per day would be placed on the property. The property is still in violation as of today, with a total of 25 days at $250 a day, for a total fine of $6,250.
I'm going to assume the same? No communication?
No communication, sir.
Okay. That's it for the Massey hearings. Next case is that I have on my agenda for new business is DEL 21034, property address 910 Crawford Street, property owner Smith and Wemmert, LLC. No permit for structures. So you ready to proceed? Officer Brokoff. We got two cases at this address, don't we?
Yes, we do. I'm trying to.
Just noticed that, sorry.
My name is Steve Brokoff. I'm employed with the City of Deltona as enforcement officer. This will be case number DEL 21-034, City of Deltona versus Smith and Wemmert, LLC. Property address is 910 Crawford Street, Deltona. Parcel address is 8130-2817-0210. This is a violation of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-3, adopting the latest edition of Florida Building Code Section 105.1, which states that any owner, authorized agent who intends to construct, enlarge, alter, repair, move, demolish, or change the occupancy of a building or structure, or to erect, the install, or enlarge alter, repair, remove, convert, or replace any electrical, gas, mechanical, or plumbing system, the installation of which is regulated by this code, or to cause any such work to be done, shall first make application to the city official and obtain required building permit. Statutory requirements for this notification and hearing have been met by notice of hearing and notice of code violation were sent certified mail to the property owner listed as at the address listed as the property appraiser's office. In addition, both notices are posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to hearing. All evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the code board clerk. I certify that any and all photographs be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed the day were taken, or they were copied from public records. This case began December 20th, 2020, when I noticed a structure in the backyard at 910 Crawford Street. I had given a door hanger, and the landlord did contact me on the 28th. I explained the violation and the problem with it. Time was afforded through the holidays, and then on January 25th, 2021, I sent notice of violation with time to correct. The landlord replied, and he's applied for the permits online, and that's why we postponed last month's litigation. But the permit department has contacted him stating that they needed more, and nothing has been done. I have dropped off other notices of hearing to the property or to the resident, and asking for the owner to contact me, and he's kind of dropped off the radar.
So compliance is not the application. Well, let me rephrase it. I'm going to rephrase the question. Is compliance a complete application, or is compliance actually obtaining the permit?
It needs to obtain the permit, because right now he's missing things that don't qualify to have the permit.
So the property remains in non-compliance.
Property remains in non-compliance. And the issue that we have, especially with this particular structure, and why we're concerned now, is we're not really sure about the construction. It looks like maybe pallets were used. We're not sure if it's connected to the ground.
Looks like some sort of party shed in the back or something.
Well, they're using it for a dog.
Say what?
They're using it for a dog. And then the problem with that is once again, we're getting into hurricane season, and everything's got to be properly.
So how much time you want to give them?
I'd like to give them 21 days, and that way we can bring them back at the next meeting.
Okay, I'm going to say it's 14 days to comply, or a fine of $50 per day. Next case, DEL 21035, same property address, same property owner, different issue, no permit for fence. Officer, ready to proceed.
Yes, my name is Steve Brock. I'm employed with the City of Deltona Enforcement Officer. This will be case number DEL 21-035, City of Deltona versus Smith and Wimmert, LLC, property at 910 Crawford Street, Deltona. Property address, or property ID is 8130-2817-0210. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-3, adopting the latest edition of Florida Building Code Section 105.1, which states that any owner, authorized agent who intends to construct, enlarge, alter, repair, move, demolish, or change the occupancy of a building or structure, or to erect, install, enlarge, or repair, convert any or replace any electrical, gas, mechanical, or plumbing system, the installation of which is regulated by this code, or to cause such work to be done, shall first make application with the building official and obtain a required permit. Statutory requirements for this notification of hearing been met by notices of hearing been sent a certified letter to the address listed at the property appraiser's office. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days before this hearing. All evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the code board clerk. I certify that all the photographs be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed the day they were taken, or copied from public records. This case began February 14th, 2021, when I received a complaint about a gentleman who lives behind. He was one of the initial complainants of the structure also, and he was complaining that somebody, either the owner or somebody on the site, has taken fence from the center of the property and removed it and basically connected both sides, making the backyard larger. So
Did your dog run?
Probably, yes. And you can see by the structure, it's not that the fence wouldn't be able to be permitted, But, and the owner, once again, initially said he had his contractor going to be pulling the permits, and they applied online. Again, that's another permit that was applied online and never finished.
Same situation.
Exact same situation.
Same order.
Thank you, sir.
Remains in non-compliance. 14 days to comply. Or a $50 per day fine. Next case is DEL 21051, property address 801 Deltona Boulevard, property owner First Coast Energy LLP, blighted property. Officer Muse.
My name is Richard Love. My name is Richard Love, and I'm employed by the City of Deltona as Enforcement Services Supervisor, and my credentials are on file with the city. This is case number DEL 21-051, the City of Deltona versus First Coast Energy LLP.
Okay, hang on a second. All right. So we're a little bit out of order. We had Mr. Spencer in the middle of this. We've got a bunch of cases about 801 Deltona Boulevard.
Yes, Your Honor.
We got blighted property, no permit for lot clearance, electric in disrepair, painting in disrepair, canopy in disrepair, light poles in disrepair, shed in disrepair, declaration of nuisance 05. These are all the, I think that's it. Okay, so we'll
be able to go through them all real quick.
So who's handling this? Is it both of you?
Dennis is out right now, so I'm handling it for him.
Okay, so since I would imagine the following questions can apply to all of the cases I just mentioned. Tell me generically, is it a residence?
No, this is a commercial piece of property.
Okay. Is it occupied?
It is unoccupied.
And you had any communications with the owner?
We are in communications with the owner, and if you look in the case file, on the back of it, I stuck a memorandum from their attorneys on their intentions and what they're going to do. I stuck it in every case file. I stuck a copy of it.
Okay, hang on a second. I want to read that. Is that Glenn Polk?
If you can't find it, I have another copy here.
Here it is, Cobb Cole.
Okay.
Give me a second, okay?
Not a problem.
This is for in every file that we just talked about. This thing from Cobb Cole?
Yes.
Same for all of our cases?
All for 801 Deltona Boulevard. What I told them is I needed a memorandum of what they needed, the time they needed to finish doing what we agreed upon. And so they sent this memorandum to me yesterday.
Do you know if a notice of commencement has been issued as referenced in this?
I know I did check today. They have filed for their first permit to remove the underground tanks that are at the property, and that has been approved.
Was this a gas station?
It was an old gas station. The tanks were still good for a couple of years, but they're going to go ahead and remove them and then take the building down.
Okay. Sorry to get out of order.
No, you're fine.
I figured if I had a general picture, then we could move along pretty quick here.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good chunk of the rest of our agenda. Okay, let's go ahead and get going with 801 Deltona Boulevard, property owner First Coast Energy LLP, DEL 21051, blighted property. Please proceed.
You want me to start from the beginning or where I was?
Just where you were.
Okay. Parcel ID number is 8130-223-30020. This is a violation of City of Deltona Code of Ordinances, Section 37-10, public nuisances. All blighted and distressed real properties are hereby declared to be public nuisance, the abatement of which pursuant to the police power is hereby declared to be necessary for the health, welfare, and safety of the residents in the city. Statuary requirements for this notification of hearing have been met by a notice of hearing was sent certified mail to the property owner listed with the property appraiser's office, and the green card has not been returned. It was also sent to their attorney and posted on the property at least 10 days prior to this hearing. As of today, the property is in violation. They have started to remove the gas pumps from the property. They have removed that. They've applied for the permit to remove the underground tanks. I talked to the contractor that's going to be removing the building. He's telling me once he has everything, it'll be roughly 28 days for him to do it, because he's got 21 days of different things that he has to do with DEP. So they asked for 45 to 60. I think it would be best to go 60 days, because I think this is going to, with DEP, especially taking tanks out of ground.
Anything further?
I'm sorry?
Anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Find that the property remains in violation, 60 days to comply, or a fine of $100 per day. Next case is DEL 21054, same property address, same property owner, electrical and disrepair, Officer Muse.
My name is Richard Love, and I'm employed by the City of Deltona as Enforcement Services Officer, and my credentials are on file with the city. This is case number DEL 21-054, the City of Deltona versus First Coast Energy LLP. Property address is 801 Deltona Boulevard. Parcel ID number is 8130-223-30020. This is a violation of City of Deltona Code of Ordinances, Section 18-5, adopting the latest edition of the International Property Maintenance Code, Section 605.1, which states that all electrical equipment, wiring, and appliances shall be properly installed and maintained in a safe and approved manner. All statutory requirements for this hearing have been met by. The notice of hearing was sent certified mail prior to the hearing date, and we have not received anything back, but it was also sent to their attorney, and we have been in contact with them. This is the same thing. We were just asking for 60 days on this one for them to finish.
All right, so I'm looking at that photo. Is there electricity to the property?
There is no electric to the property. That's open wires from where they took the car wash down already for us, because it was coming down. So there's no electric to the building. That's why we're willing to give them the 60 days on that too.
So could electricity be brought back to the property where wires like that could be dangerous to the public?
The wires are not even going to the property.
Okay.
So they've pulled them from the pole.
All right. That's what I needed to know. So it's still in violation. 60 days to comply, or a fine of $100 per day. Next case, DEL 210555, same property owner, painting and disrepair.
My name is Richard Love, and I'm employed by the City of Deltona as Enforcement Services Officer, and my credentials are on file with the city. This is case number DEL 21-055, the City of Deltona versus First Coast Energy LLP. Parcel ID number is 8130-223-30020. This is a violation of City of Deltona Code of Ordinances, Section 18-5, adopting the latest edition of the International Property Maintenance Code, Section 304.2, which states that all exterior surfaces, including but not limited to doors and windows, frames, cornices, porches, trims, balconies, decks, and fences shall be maintained in good, sound working condition and maintained in good repair. Exterior wood surfaces other than decay-resistant wood shall be protected from the elements and decay by painting or other protective coatings or treatment. Statutory requirements for this have been met by. The notice of hearing was sent certified mail to the property owner, and we did not receive anything back yet. It was also posted at the property 10 days prior and given to their attorney. This is the same way. We're asking for the 60 days for them to take down the building and to come into compliance.
Yeah, they're not going to paint it to come in compliance. They're tearing it down, right?
Yeah, they're completely taking that property down.
Okay. Still in violation.
Yes.
60 days to comply, or a fine of $100 per day. We're going to have a lot of these fines if they don't comply. Make sure please, sir, that they're aware of that.
Yeah,
it's only $100 for each one. We got about 5 or 6 cases. All of a sudden, if they don't meet this deadline, we're talking about some real money.
I've talked to their construction manager that's in charge of it. I talked to him today. His plan was, they told him they wanted it on the ground in 30 days.
Okay.
But
Meaning
like I said, the contractor told me it's going to be 28.
Site.
Yeah.
Got it.
So that's why I want to go 60 to give a little bit of leeway.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to argue with you. I want to make sure they know, because I'm not doing $10 a day. I'm doing $100 a day. because I want to make sure that they know that, because this is a mess. I mean,
Yeah.
it needs to be fixed. Okay, next case, DL 21056, same folks. This is canopy and disrepair.
My name is Richard Lovett. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as Enforcement Services Supervisor, and my credentials are on file with the city. This is case number DEL 21-056, City of Deltona versus First Coast Energy LLP. Property address is 801 Deltona Boulevard. Parcel ID number is 8130-223-30020. This is a violation of City of Deltona Code of Ordinances, Section 18-5, adopting the latest edition of the International Property Maintenance Code 304.7, which states that roofs and flashings shall be sound and tight and not have defects that emit rain. Statutory requirements for this hearing have been met by. Notice of hearing was sent certified mail to the property owner listed at the property appraiser's office, and that has not been returned to us. We also gave the information to the attorneys, and we have been in contact with them. And this one is just another one with just 60 days to get them to comply.
Same order, in violation, 60 days to comply or a fine of $100 per day. Next case is DEL 21057, 801 Deltona, same property. This one is light poles and disrepair.
My name is Richard Lovett. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as Enforcement Services Officer. My credentials are on file with the city. This is case number DEL 21-057, City of Deltona versus First Coast Energy LLP. Property address is 801 Deltona Boulevard. The parcel ID number is 8130-223-30020. This is a violation of the City of Deltona Code of Ordinances, Section 18-5, adopting the latest edition of the International Property Maintenance Code, Section 605.1, which states that electrical equipment, wiring, and appliances shall be properly installed and maintained in a safe and approved manner. Statutory requirements for this hearing have been met by. Notice of hearing was sent certified mail to the property owner, and we have not received anything back. It was posted at the property 10 days in advance, and we have been in contact with their attorneys and them, and we're just asking for 60 days on this one too.
So ordered. Same order. DEL 21058, same property owner. Now we're dealing with a shed.
Getting close.
This one's coming down too?
Yeah, there's two more. My name is Richard Lovett. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as Enforcement Services Supervisor, and my credentials are on file with the city. This is case number DEL 21-058, City of Deltona versus First Coast Energy LLP. Property address is 801 Deltona Boulevard. Parcel ID number is 8130-223-30020. This is a violation of City of Deltona Code of Ordinances, Section 18-5, adopting the latest edition of the International Property Maintenance Code, Section 302.7, which states all accessory structures, including detached garages, fences, and walls, shall be maintained and kept in good repair and sound structural condition. Statutory requirements for this hearing have been met by. A notice of hearing was sent certified to the property owner with the property listed with the property appraiser's office, and we have not received anything back from the certified mail. We sent that also to their attorneys, letting them know of tonight, and we have been in contact with them. We are asking for the same 60 days on this one, sir.
So ordered. Same order. Last case for this property. I will recognize that Officer Lovett, Officer Muse owes you. Let's have that for the record. So wherever he is.
He is out for a while.
Okay. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope he's okay.
Yes. My name is Richard Lovett. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as Enforcement Services Supervisor, and my credentials are on file with the city. This is case number DEL 21-059, the City of Deltona versus First Coast Energy LLP. Property address is 801 Deltona Boulevard. Parcel ID number is 8130-223-30020. This is a violation of City of Deltona Code of Ordinances, Section 38-110, subsection 2, which states that accumulation of waste, yard trash, rubble, and/or debris are to be declared to be a nuisance and must be abated in their entirety. The statutory requirements of notification of this hearing have been met by. The notice of hearing was sent certified mail to the property owner at least 10 days prior to the hearing, and we have not received anything back on those. And we have been in contact with their attorney and also with the company themselves, and we're asking for the same 60 days on this property.
So ordered. So I think we've done enough 4 and 2, 801 Deltona Boulevard. So hopefully in 60 days, nothing will be there other than dirt and maybe the beginning of something else. I'm just curious, what are they, I mean, putting up a new gas station?
They're going to demolish it. They're still in talks of whether they want to demolish it down to leave the concrete pad there.
Yeah.
And put up ballards to keep people from coming in, or going all the way down to dirt.
Okay. So you don't know what it's going to, what's going to go
No,
in?
they have been talking with the planning and development director about what to do.
Just
along with
idle
that.
curiosity, that's all.
Yeah.
Okay. Next case, DEL 21061-1661 Bismarck Drive. This is improper parking. That's not Officer Lovett. Sorry.
I can see them on my computer. It's weird.
City ready to proceed? Yes, sir. Okay, please do.
My name is Marion Laracy. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as an enforcement officer. This case is in reference to DEL 21-061, the City of Deltona versus Angel Manuel Zayas, the property address of 1661 Bismarck Drive, Deltona, Florida. Parcel ID number is 813-015-080070. The property is in violation of Section 6619(3), which states the boats, trailers, recreational vehicles shall not be parked or stored either within public right-of-way or within the portion of the lot lying across the full width of the lot between the front line and the frontmost part of the principal structure. All statutory requirements have been met. Notice of hearing and notice of violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records and posted on the property 10 days prior to this hearing. All evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the code board clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. This case began February of this year, 2021. This was a proactive case. A notice was mailed to the resident. At that time, we were mailing the initial contact letter, and 2 weeks was given to the resident to comply. Later on, I hand-delivered the notice of violation to the resident. He happened to be there, and explained or attempted to explain the violation of the ordinance and how.
So the violation is the boat?
Yes, but there's also a trailer there as well. The boat has been moved, but there's also still the trailer in the front yard.
Was the notice of violation issued for the boat and the trailer?
At the time, the trailer was not there.
So my question is, for the property owner, as far as what he was noticed for, what he thought he could do to comply was to remove the boat?
According to our ordinance, it states that boats, trailers, recreational vehicles.
I understand that.
So,
But he was cited for the boat.
yes. The initial was the boat, and I haven't been there since. The gentleman was.
Has he been cited for the trailer?
No.
The boat is gone. Was the boat removed before the deadline in the notice of violation?
The boat was there yesterday. I don't have photos, but it was there yesterday. And the only reason why I knew that is because I was addressing another property across the street.
Okay, so let me see if I understand this. The notice of violation was for the boat.
Mm-hmm.
There was a deadline in the notice of violation. It's your
Yes.
testimony that there has been a violation of that code at this property since the deadline in the notice of violation.
Correct.
Is the property in compliance of today's date?
Yes.
Okay. Anything further on this case?
Oh, well, actually, the property is not in compliance. The trailer is still in the front yard.
He wasn't cited for the trailer.
Okay, even though the notice of violation covers trailers, boats, recreational vehicles?
Okay, that's different. I thought you said that he was, I misunderstood. I thought you said that he was cited for the boat. You're
Originally,
saying-
it was the boat, then he brought the trailer.
Okay.
So when I saw the boat was gone today, there's a trailer there now. So,
Is the trailer still there?
yes,
Okay. All right. I'm going to find that the property remains in violation. I'm going to give him 10 days to come into compliance or a fine of $50 per day.
okay.
And it's the trailer.
Yes, sir.
Unless I am mistaken, we only have one more case.
Just one, sir. She's a doozy.
Oh, said best for last?
Best for last, sir.
Fantastic.
It's a house fire.
DEL 21065, property address 177 Rosedale Drive, property owner 20171H, borrower LP, public nuisance fire damage.
Yes, sir. City will be ready in 1 minute. Bear with me while I gather my paperwork, please.
At least the house didn't burn down. No, part of it did. Bummer. Garage.
Well, I was the only one here for a minute, so I thought I was going to be next. It should just be two papers. Yes. It's all my info. All right. Apologies.
No worries.
My name is Myron San Miguel. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as an enforcement officer. My credentials are on file with the city. This will be case number DEL 21-065, City of Deltona versus IH Borrower LP. Property address is 177 Rosedale Drive, Deltona, Florida 32738. The parcel ID number is 8130-5939-0140. This is in violation of City of Deltona Ordinance 37-10, public nuisance, which states all blighted and distressed real properties are hereby declared to be a public nuisance, the abatement of which pursuant to the police powers hereby declared to be necessary for the health, welfare, and safety of the residents of the city. The corrective said action is to repair and replace all damage done by the fire by either obtaining the required permits for work needed to be done on the home or demolish the property in its entirety. Statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation were sent in certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the code board clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day that they were taken. This initial case was opened on March the 9th of 2021. There was conversational back and forth between myself and the Assistant Chief Fire Marshal, Sharon Shrivers. She stated that the fire occurred from her records around January 21st of 2021. After further investigation, I was able to link up with a fire investigator from the company Kevin B. Hayes Fire Consulting. I spoke to him on March 15th, 2021, and he stated that he was sent out to determine the damage and that that home was a total complete loss. Based on his findings, this home is a rental property. It is owned by Invitation Homes. Their corporate office under property appraisers is out of Dallas, Texas. That in itself kind of gave us a little bit of standoffish in being able to actually communicate with the homeowner at all. They do have a local office here over in Altamont Springs. After reaching out and sending notices to both the corporate office and the local office, I was finally able to get a phone call back, and I reached someone on May 19th from the local office in Altamont Springs. Her name was Kelly. She was a property manager who stated that she would have someone in their special department reach out to me, but they determined that the house was also a total loss and that at this time they are not sure what they plan on doing with it. Since then, there has been multiple attempts to contact them to follow up. There has not been any contact or follow-up from them. I requested this case to be found in violation of the ordinance with a maximum fine to start immediately in order to encourage them to communicate and come to a resolve of compliance.
There's no one in the home, I'm assuming?
There is nobody in the home. It is vacant. However, it is unsecure at this time. If you look here on the right-hand side, a panel has been torn down. These panels in the front are the only thing stopping anyone from going into the fire. They're not bolted into the building. They're not secured in any way. They are just leaning there.
This is in a residential neighborhood?
It is absolutely in a residential neighborhood on a lakefront property.
There's been any trespassing inside the building?
It appears that there has been trespassing inside of the building, and my findings on that are based on the back sliding glass door having now been opened and was not based on my initial photographs. The house looks like it has been torn through and trashed based off of the side that has not been burnt. This was an image of inside the garage that I was able to take.
Was it a car fire at first?
It was not a car fire. The fire inspector stated that it happened inside the residence in the garage somehow, and that there was a vehicle in front of the home that has since been removed, but that vehicle was at loss because of the fire, not the cause of the fire. This is the back of the house.
All right, so you want the fine to start right away, but I've got what's the compliance?
The compliance is to start the process to either get permits to repair the home or to demolish the property.
So compliance is either have to go in and gut it and rebuild it or tear it down.
Correct.
Okay, I can't start a fine immediately. I've got to know what a reasonable period of time. What do you want them to do that's reasonable within a specific reasonable period of time? I've got to have a plan that's reasonable.
Mr. Reichman, I would think that 2 weeks to get a permit to demolish it or come up with an action plan to rebuild it would be sufficient time.
Okay, my next question is, this is for the city attorney. Well, unfortunately, you're here.
I know.
So my question is that, and I've never done this for the city of Deltona, but if I find that a property is in such a state of a public nuisance, I can make a recommendation to the governing body, the commission, that is my recommendation that the governing body direct staff to go in and try to fix it so that it's not a dangerous condition. So looking for that.
So really what I do on these when we
You understand where I'm going with this?
Yeah. When we have properties like this, we like to bring them to you, for you to find them in non-compliance, that they are a violation, and then after that fine starts, then I start the process to look at demolition of the property.
All right, that's fine. I just wanted to, I mean, this one seems to be, it's kind of like that pool. I mean, when I see a property, it's vacant, it's open, Lord knows what's inside that building. You get a couple little kids in there, they could get really, really hurt.
That's my concern. If you look at this photo taken on March 9th, the sliding glass doors were closed and secure. And when I went there today, the back door was open, and you could visibly tell somebody's ransacked the house. So someone's in there.
And since I was called on, we do have, Richard, the nuisance provision. I would say that after, Special Magistrate makes his ruling, that we immediately
Yeah, I'll start on this next week.
Yeah, we need to do it as quickly as possible because teenagers could be going in there, they could be drinking, setting more fires, I don't know, but it's a dangerous situation.
Right, we just don't know.
No, I think we should get somebody, I mean, we've got the Memorial Day weekend coming. I don't
Right.
know. I think we should somehow secure it. I don't have any.
And I don't mean to tell you how, I mean, that's up to you guys, that's not within my power, but.
I know.
But you guys, if you have a nuisance abatement process in the city of Deltona, then you guys do an NOR, notice of remedy, as opposed to a notice of violation, you can initiate that process. I would respectfully suggest that this one probably should have a shorter fuse than some of the other ones that you give.
We do. We have a 24-hour abatement process that we use for to unsecure properties like that.
All right. Again, I mean, we're all parents or former parents, and I just can see a little kid getting in here and getting all cut up, or Lord knows what could happen. Or I'm going to find that they're in violation, and I'm going to find that they come into compliance in 10 days, or a fine of $250 per day. Given the severity of the non-compliance and the fact that you've reached out to them, and the fact also let the record reflect that they're aware of this problem, and you have had no communications with them after they have been made aware of this public health safety issue.
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's it as far as I've got. Am I missing anything?
No, thank you very much.
All right, I want to thank everybody tonight. A little bit sorry it took so long, but you made me work tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, we're adjourned. Thank you very much, folks.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.